Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, and I'm bringing you how to travel the world as a speaker. I'm your host, Phylecia Jones, and today I'm going to do something a little controversial. I know. We're going to talk about public speaking and why it is not the best way to make money. So we're just going to have some real talk about speaking and why I honestly believe this is. You'll see why I say this is not the best way to make money. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Of course, this is a show where we talk about travel and we talk about speaking. And so we combine these two things so that you can leverage public speaking so that you can travel the world. So I usually give you a little bit of a travel story, then we'll jump into our topic. Like I said, it's going to be unpopular opinion, but I'm just going to have some real talk about public speaking and making money or trying to make money with it. So pretty excited about that. So let's go ahead and jump into our travel story of the day. And I've decided I'm just going to talk about the RV all week. So for those of you who don't know, I'm an RV owner, and I've been an RV owner since like 2018. And it's been really cool because I've been able to take quite a few of my speaking gigs along with me while I'm on the road. So it's been a lot of fun. But I got to tell you, the real deal about RVs. There's a lot of people, especially during the pandemic, that couldn't travel the world and really wanted to, couldn't get on airplanes and wanted to start RVing because it's a new experience. And I have to tell you, I can't say this was something I've always wanted to do. It was definitely encouraged by my husband. It's really fun. It really is, because you can get on the road and go to some places you've never even imagined here in the United States. And when they open up the border, you can get into Canada as well. I mean, there's some people who rally down into Mexico. So you could do all kinds of things in an RV. But there's some things with RV life. One, it's not the cheapest thing to get into, just being straight up honest. I mean, you could finance, but it ain't the cheapest thing. You got to know what kind of RV you have. If it's an all-in-one where it's like a motorhome, or if you got a trailer, or if you got a fifth wheel, you got to figure all that out. Also, water. You don't have endless supply of water. You don't have endless supply of gray, they call it gray tanks and black tanks. So just think about it. It's like your waste tanks. It's not like your home where you can just flush and all that stuff just magically goes away. No, it kind of sits with you, and you have to go and like empty that on a regular basis. Yeah, it's kind of nasty. Yeah, so you can't do all this stuff. That means you have to have hookups for water and sewage. And if you decide to not have water and sewage, you can't take those epically long showers where you contemplate life. That ain't happening in an RV. Yeah, you're not doing that. Even when you have sewage, because your tanks can only hold so much. So you're not taking long showers. You're not just let me go think about life while I'm wasting all the water in the planet. Yeah, you can't do all that stuff. And then you got to wash dishes. It's all these little things that go with being an RV owner. And yeah, you can't like leave things out. You got to pack everything up, or it falls and it breaks. So yeah, you learn all this stuff, and all of these problems are yours. They are yours for you to figure out. So I've been telling people, if you're going to get into RVing, you better learn how to YouTube and being your own handyman, because that's what's going to happen when you own an RV. But at the end of the day, it is fun. You do have to literally pack up your entire house before you go somewhere else. You can't leave things out. You can't just leave things on the counter. So yeah, we got about an hour and a half routine where we put everything up. You can't have glasses. It's just hanging out. Everything needs to like not move, because yeah, when you open it back up, you'll find things are broken or flying everywhere. Oh, RV life. Like I said, it is fun, but not the easiest thing to get into. But if you do try it, let me know what happens. It is comfortable. Being able to have your clothes with you, to be able to take all the things with you, is pretty nice. And I really don't tweet much or post on Instagram much about my RV experience. So maybe I should start doing that. It's kind of crazy. Every now and then I post a few pictures, but it's a very crazy experience. But I've actually loved it, and thank goodness for it. Right now we can't really go out because everybody has filled up all the campgrounds. So we're gonna wait till the fall, because we wait for school to be back in and all the summer vacations are over. So we are off-season travel people. All right, so that's enough about the RV. Let's go ahead and jump into real talk today. And real talk is public speaking is not the best way to make money. Now, And I'm coming to you, it's a little bit of sarcasm and a lot of truth to this because every day I get, not every day, I'm exaggerating, like at least every couple of weeks, I get people who calling me and saying, you know what, I want to get into speaking. I want to talk about the most lucrative thing when it comes to speaking. And there is no lucrative thing when it comes to speaking. I wish there was. Yes, there are some topics that will always get you paid, but a lot of people fail to recognize that it's not just what you talk about, it's how you present it. It's your demeanor, it's your character, it's your charm that you bring to the stage that will make people pay attention to what you're saying. But even then, it takes a while to get to the point of being a very well paid speaker. And a lot of us, and a lot of people who sign up for iFind You Close, a lot of people who talk to me, they think that this is something that can happen overnight. It really can't happen overnight. I wish it can. Now there's always the anomaly of that 0.001% that can do something overnight, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. And I hear a lot of people who say, I want to get paid to speak. I don't speak for free. And then you find out they're getting paid $250, $500, which is nothing to poo-poo. I mean, I think it's great. Whatever you can get paid to speak in whatever you're doing, I think is amazing. But when you look at all of the work that goes into it, when you look at all of the work, when you're pitching, 100 gigs a week, when you're pitching quite a few, like more than 500 a month, when you got to take those first few years to get the free speaking gigs, to build up your credibility, to show up, to practice, to give things away, not give things away, to negotiate contracts, to figure out what you're charging, what you're not charging, what you're willing to do. Are you a trainer? Are you a workshop facilitator? All of those things, and then paying for the coaches, paying for people to help you, it can get really expensive. And then it'll take years for some to get to the point where they're actually making decent money. And I'm just being honest, even when you do get paid that $8,000, that $5,000, it may not come the 50 times a year like a lot of us think it does. You may get, starting off, you may not get paid anything. And then it'll take 5 years before you get that $5,000 or $8,000 gig. And that may happen 3 or 5 times in a year. And and it's good money. You made $20,000, but last time I checked, $20,000 ain't paying the bills for a whole lot of stuff. So that's why the people who are the hardcore professionals around speaking, you have to do the work. Nobody wants to do the work. And I'm just being straight up honest. Very few people want to do the work. If you want to get paid $100, $200, $300,000, you got to do a lot of $100, $200, $300,000 work. And I hate to say it, it ain't posting on Instagram. It ain't just tweeting people. You have to get out and do lead generation. That means you got to contact all these people and convince them that you are the right person to give that money to. And in the beginning, you still have to do this even when you're not getting paid, even working this hard for your $250, for your $500. That's what it takes to get around into speaking. And it will take some years before you might see a profit. That's the thing, is years. And on the other side of that, when you have made it as a success, when speaking is your thing, you are bringing in your 6 figures as a speaker, you're making 100, 200,000. Guess what? That's all on you. Speaking is not the most scalable thing in the world. It's not scalable at all, to be honest. There are some people who have figured out how to do it, but when everybody wants you got to show up. And when you have years like the pandemic year, when nobody's paying, then everybody starts at ground zero. So you got to remember all this stuff. So I'm not saying that speaking is not something to get into. It's just, let's be very realistic with where it's going to take us. And if you want it that bad, and if you want to make the name for yourself, if you want to end up getting paid, in the 6 figures for your talent, for your knowledge, for your message, you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to do the work. I saw a meme today that said, don't be surprised when you get what you don't put into. It was something like that. I forget what it was, but basically, don't be surprised that you're not being rewarded for not working. And most of the people who are making a lot of money speaking, they are working their butts off. And I'm telling you that. So there's no magic pill to any of this. If you want it, you need to work for it. If you're only in it for the money, I highly recommend you find something else to do, because you're gonna learn quickly. You're gonna have to put in a lot more work and effort than what you think. Versus, you know what, you probably could make some money, making more money selling leggings and socks. So if you're only in this for the money, you might be surprised with your heartbreak, because you're gonna have to invest a lot just to even break even for the first few years. I will say for me, my experience, my first like high paid gig, I mean, they all came at the same time, but that was 3 years. So my first oh gosh, it's 2019. Just being honest, yeah, 2019. That's when I started getting paid for real, like for real, for real. And even then, it wasn't like enough to pay the bills. It wasn't enough to pay the bills, but it was a good start. And yeah, my gigs were coming in at $8,000, and but I also realized that I had a TEDx behind me, so that helped just a little bit, and my background in women in technology. And so that's why all these things need to align, and you got to put yourself in the right place. And I'm not saying just because you got a TEDx means you're going to get paid to speak. I know a lot of people who got TEDx's and they are not getting paid to speak. So there's a lot of things you have to work on. There's a lot of patience that you have to have. And then you got to understand all of this comes down to your ability to negotiate. But like I said, this is not the best way to make money. I wish it was, because you can make money faster. And if you're only in this for the money, I think it's probably time you find something else to do. So that's all I have for you. Of course, if you got any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment box. I'm here on Instagram or here on YouTube. Go check us out at iFind You Close, where we try to do a little bit of the research to help you get on stage. And every Monday we post brand new speaking opportunities. So go check us out. We would love for you to be a part of our little family in landing gigs. So take care of yourself, and I'll see you bright. I keep wanting to say bright and early in the morning. But I won't see you bright and early tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Bye.